I couldn't take it anymore. I dropped a video into the entire company's Slack channel. In it, my husband, tech CEO Reese Callahan, was sharing an intimate toast with his assistant, Brooke Wyatt, at a company retreat in the Hamptons. After a long, tense pause, Reese finally replied in the channel, "This is just standard encouragement for an exceptional employee." He then DM'd me, his words dripping with condescension as he accused me of overreacting. His colleagues immediately flooded the channel with memes and jokes, all painting me as the overly sensitive wife. Just like that, public opinion was on his side. Only I knew what a master of gaslighting he was, how effortlessly he could twist any situation to his advantage. I shut down my computer and gazed around our luxurious apartment overlooking Central Park. It had never felt like a home. It was a gilded cage, cold and empty. I glanced at the Cartier ring he'd slid onto my finger during his proposal, a single, helpless question echoing in my heart, when will I ever escape this prison? His cold words sliced through me, and tears welled in my eyes despite my efforts to stop them. I could only nod obediently, knowing any resistance would only provoke a worse reaction. Just then, his phone rang. Seeing the caller ID, he answered instantly, his tone shifting to one of gentle concern. "Brooke? What's wrong?" Brooke's syrupy voice came through the phone. "Mr. Callahan, I'm not feeling well. I think I'm having an anxiety attack. Can you come over?" "Stay home, I'll be right there." Reese didn't even bother to end the call properly before rushing out. Before he left, he turned and ordered, "Go to Whole Foods and get that specific organic meal. Deliver it to Brooke's apartment in Brooklyn tonight. I don't want her anxiety to spoil her appetite." The thought of divorce had been circling my mind for a long time. That command was the final nail in the coffin. I went to the address he'd sent me and arrived outside Brooke's apartment building. Just as I reached the entrance, I saw them across the street. Reese was kissing Brooke, passionately. I ducked into a shadowed doorway, raised my phone, and hit record. Brooke ran a finger down Reese's tie and cooed, "Mr. Callahan, I'm always monopolizing your time. I hope Chloe doesn't mind." A flash of disgust crossed Reese's eyes. "Don't mention her name when we're together. It's a complete buzzkill." Brooke giggled. "You're right. After all, this is our work time." They embraced and crossed the street, disappearing into the apartment building. Even though I'd already made my decision, seeing it with my own eyes felt like my heart was being torn to shreds. I fought back the nausea and despair, making sure my phone captured every last second as evidence. I stumbled away, the image burned into my mind, tears streaming down my face before I even realized I was crying. In my helplessness, I sent the video to the only person I felt could save me, Jasper. "Jasper, I was so foolish. I should have listened to you. Marrying Reese was the worst mistake of my life." A few minutes later, an Uber pulled up beside me, and a familiar figure emerged. It was Jasper. He looked frantic, his eyes wide with worry. Before I could react, he pulled me into a tight hug, his deep sigh a shudder of shared pain. The solid warmth of his embrace was an anchor in the storm raging inside me. Then, he gently took my hand, his gaze firm and resolute. Without a word, he led me back toward Brooke's apartment and knocked on the door. The door opened. Reese appeared, a look of pure shock on his face when he saw us. Behind him, in the living room, Brooke sat on the sofa, her clothes in disarray. "Chloe?" Reese's voice was laced with panic as he scrambled for an excuse. "I can explain, Chloe." Before he could finish, Jasper stepped forward from behind me, pushing him aside with a cold glint in his eyes. Jasper tightened his grip on my hand and announced flatly, "She's leaving with me." It wasn't just strangers and colleagues, even my best friend, Haley Nash, tore into me over FaceTime. "Chloe Sinclair, you hit the jackpot marrying Reese. How could you do this to him? How could you be so ungrateful? If I were you, I'd be on my knees begging for his forgiveness. You'll regret this." My husband, Reese Callahan, sat beside me, savoring the sight of everyone turning on me. A faint, knowing smirk played on his lips. He loved the feeling of having everything under his control. In everyone else's eyes, he was the charming, doting tech elite, the ideal husband. But it was only after I married him that I realized what a master of emotional manipulation he truly was. In public, he was the consummate gentleman, winning everyone's praise. But behind closed doors, he put me through relentless psychological torment. He loved pushing me to the brink of a breakdown, only to then complain to everyone about how emotional I was, turning them all against me every time I would fall into his trap and end up apologizing. Then, he would play the part of the magnanimous husband. "See? Only I can tolerate you. That's because I love you." And just like that, in the eyes of the world, I became the ungrateful, unstable monster of our marriage. Even this time, with clear video evidence, he still managed to make it all my fault. I scrolled through the insults and smears flooding the Slack channel, my hands trembling so badly that I finally slammed my laptop shut in despair. My head throbbed, my thoughts a tangled mess. Late that night, the apartment door was thrown open. Reese strode in, reeking of Le Labo Santal 33. He sat on the sofa, crossed his legs, and glared at me with pure contempt. "Getting bold now, are we? Daring to ignore every single one of my calls?" He poured himself a whiskey, sizing me up as if I were a misbehaving pet. "You sent the video. Don't you think it's time to let this go?" A smart girl knows when to quit. His lazy tone and goading gaze made me feel like an unruly pet being put in its place.